Okay, this is video 1 for the mandala for 7th grade. All right, you are going to need the following materials. You're going to need your sketchbook. And within your sketchbook, you need the mandala design instructions paper. And this is going to take you step by step through the directions. You're also going to need a 6x6 sheet of white paper. You're going to need a ruler, your pencil, a protractor, and you're going to need a compass. Okay? So we're going to start with our ruler, and I'm going to go through this. So this is step number 2. We're going to take our pencil and we're going to divide this paper in half on the diagonal both ways. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold my pencil in my right hand and I'm going to hold my ruler with my left hand. I'm going to line the ruler up corner to corner. I'm making sure it's lined up. You're going to hold your hand wide so your ruler doesn't move, and then you're going to make a light line that goes corner to corner. I'm going to draw dark so you can see what I'm doing, but I want you to draw lightly. Okay, so I got one line. I'm going to flip my paper over or around here. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to line the ruler up to the edge. I'm going to hold on the ruler tight with my hand wide, and I'm going to draw my line lightly from corner to corner. Okay, so what this has done is this has given me the midway point. So it's got right in the middle of my paper. So now what I want to do is I need to decide how many sections I want my mandala to have. And so this little picture here that I have drawn in your design instruction paper has 8 sections. Okay, so each one of these sections are a 45-degree angle. If you think you would like to have 12 sections, you can see in this paper you would need to have 30-degree angles. And we figure that out because a circle is 360 degrees. If I want to have that circle be divided into 8 sections, I would take 360 and I would divide it by 8, and that would give me 45-degree angles. The same thing if you had your circle, your 360 degrees, and you wanted 12 sections, I would divide 360 by 12 and it would give me 30-degree angles. So in order to mark our angles on my paper, I'm going to take my protractor. Okay, on your protractor, this little diamond is the center. So that diamond needs to be lined up to the middle, and then the edge of the protractor lays right along one of your diagonal lines that you've drawn. Okay, so how this works is, I just bumped that. Right along this flat edge of this line, right at the beginning, on the left-hand side of the protractor, that's my 0 degree. Okay? We know that this line would be our 90, and the other edge of the ruler on the right-hand side would be our 180 degrees. So if I want to divide this by 45-degree angles, I'm going to mark at 45 degrees and put a little line. Okay, so it's going to be 0, 45, 90, and then the next 45-degree mark would be at the 135, and then the one after that would be the 180, which is already marked. So I've just put 2 marks on here, at the 45-degree angle and at the 135-degree angle. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. I'm going to flip my paper around and I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm lining up my protractor. The diamond goes to the center point, and my protractor lays right on one of those diagonal lines that I drew. Then I'm going to mark at the 45-degree, and then I'm going to mark at the 135. That's if you want 8 sections. If you want 12 sections, you would have to mark at the 30-degree angle, so you would have more lines. Now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to connect these dots that I drew. Okay, so I'm drawing really dark so that you can see what I'm doing. I want you to draw very lightly if you can. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to connect the other one. So when you're connecting these lines, you want to be making sure you're drawing straight through the middle. If you're not drawing through the middle point, you've done something wrong and you need to come ask or watch this again to see maybe what happened. Okay, now I'm at the point where I'm at step 6. I'm going to use a compass to draw my circles. Okay? So this is a compass. Some of the compasses have these little caps on the end. Okay, this is the point. The point goes right at the middle. And the first circle you want to draw in here, you want to try to get it as big as you can without going over the edge of the paper. So I'm going to try like this. So here's what you do. You want to hold down this middle part, the point, okay? You want to make sure that that stays put or else you won't get a nice circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my paper. I'm not going to turn the compass in my hand. I'm going to hold my hand tight with my compass. The point right at the center. Okay, so I see how I got a circle. I hope you can see that. All right, I'm going to squeeze this and make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to try to draw this one darker. Okay, so what I want you to do is draw a few circles, no more than 4 to start, on the center. I'm going to do one more. I'm turning my paper. I'm holding the point of the compass down on the paper so I get nice perfect circles. Then I'm going to do one last one. I'm going to try to make a small one. Okay, there's a trick with the compass. Sometimes you should kind of turn it so it's a little bit bent down, angled down a little bit, not totally, but angled down a little bit so that the pencil drags nicely across the paper versus kind of getting stuck. Okay, so this is the part where I want you to get to first. And once you get to this step, you're ready to move on to the next video, which is designing your mandala. Good luck. Come show me what you got done when you finish. Okay, this is video 2 in the mandala design project for 7th grade. So the materials you need are you need your paper that you've previously made with the circles and the lines on it. You're going to need your pencil, make sure it's sharp. You might want a ruler and the compass and possibly the protractor again for this step. Okay, you also need your imagination, and you might want to look at some of these different books that I have or design papers which have different patterns and stuff on them. Okay, but I'll explain that more in a minute. So to get started, what I want to do is come up with a design that starts from the center and works out. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You can just start thinking about shapes and lines. So if I'm looking at the center here, maybe I want to use, and you can use symbols too, so you don't just have to use shapes and lines, you can use symbols. So let's say I want to use the idea of like a leaf shape, okay? So I'm going to draw really dark on here so you can see, but I want you to draw very lightly. What if I took and started drawing some little leaves that kind of come off the center? And remember, when we're creating mandalas, they are technically symmetrical, right? So they have radial balance. So you are thinking, as you're designing this, about repeating some of the things that you're doing. Okay, so I've got my little, almost like a flower shape there at the start. Let's see if I can get this closer for you. Okay, so then I want to think about the next spaces here that I want to start to design. Sorry. Okay, so you can just come up with an idea. Like maybe I want to draw some like rectangles. Maybe I'll have these like almost like they're like lines kind of coming off of this here. Now remember, you're going to draw nice and light, because if you make like if you want to make a change or make something different, you want to be able to erase it. Okay, so do you think you could use a ruler here to get these nice and straight? Absolutely. I'm just kind of freehanding it. Okay, so maybe I want to do something inside these new spaces here. What could I do? Well, I could, if I can't come up with an idea right off the top of my head, I could look at some of these other papers I have with all sorts of different designs. I could do like a swirl, I could do a little circle within a circle. I've got some different books that you can look at. Maybe you would find inspiration in one of these books and some of these designs, okay? So maybe I want to do like a little swirl, and then maybe another one that's a little bit bigger, and maybe a third one. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat that because this is supposed to be a symmetrical design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working on this until I've got all my spaces filled, If you need to add more circles using your compass to kind of divide a space a little bit more, you can go ahead and do that. You can use your protractor as a straight edge, okay? All right, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show you one that's a little further along here. So here's one that has been Sharpied. Okay, so I finished that one and I went over it in Sharpie. Here's another one. I finished and went over in Sharpie. Okay, and I can't wait to see what you do. Good luck, and make sure you show me and ask questions along the way if you have some.